All right. Uh, we'll start with the peace chant. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvina Vadhitam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may the all-pervading Spirit protect us. May the all-pervading Spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. All right, so we are in Katha Upanishad. To contextualize, we can start from the place where Upanishad said that this spiritual entity that survives death, the spiritual dimension in us, is present in everyone, but it does not get revealed because it is very subtle. To discover it, to recognize it, we need a very subtle mind. And how to get a subtle mind? Upanishad gave us steps. First, all the sense objects, dissolve them into mind. Then even the thoughts, let them dissolve into intellect. Even intellect should be dissolved into greater silence or awareness. And finally is the Shanta Atma, the peaceful self, which is beyond description, the open awareness. So once we do like this process of dissolving one layer into the even subtle layer and go deep within, what do we discover? What do we discover? That is the subject matter of today's verse number 15. Okay, we shall share the verse and see in details what this verse mean. Aśabdam, asparśam, arūpam, avyayaṃ, tathā'rasam, nityam, agandhavat, anādi, anantaṃ, mahataḥ, paraṃ, dhruvaṃ, nicāyya mṛtyu-mukhāt, pramucyate. That which is beyond sound, touch, form, taste, and smell, that which is eternal, without beginning or end, beyond all manifestation and unchanging, by realizing that one is freed from the hold of death. So as we know, Upanishad goes back and forth between the spiritual reality, description of the spirituality, that is the ontological entity, and also speaks about steps to realize that. So to generalize, we may say Upanishad speaks about a worldview as well as a lifestyle. So only the worldview won't do, and only the lifestyle won't. The lifestyle is good, but what is the purpose of the lifestyle? So here comes the worldview, the ontological entity Upanishad wants to speak about. So that spiritual entity that Upanishad is talking about is unlike anything we know, unlike anything we experienced so far. So it can only point to that reality. It does not match with any ideas or conceptions that we have so far. So Upanishad speaks about that reality in terms of pointers, and these pointers are in two categories. One is via negativa, what it is not, and via positiva, what it is. Again, all of these are pointers, should not be taken too seriously, should not be taken literally. These are all pointers we have to remember. So, first it says the what it is not. It is not aśabdam, it is beyond sound, beyond touch, beyond taste, beyond smell. So why so many not this, not this? We may ask why Upanishad is saying not this, not this. So Upanishad is deliberately trying to do here something that is removing all possible category that we know. You know, we our experiences are categorized into whether it is heard, seen, smelled, or touched, uh, what is tasted. So all of these, beyond all of these categories. So everything we experience fall into some category, and all the things that we experience through our senses are all objects. Objects. But Upanishad is trying to say that spiritual reality which we discover in our innermost core is not an object. It is the subject. It is the subject. Everything else is object to it. It is the ultimate subject, after which there is nothing to be known. It is the only knower. It is the subject, and it cannot be objectified. We have seen that in other Upanishads. If you remember, in Keno Upanishad, it said in paradoxical terms, those who think that they have known this, they have not known it. And those who think that they have not known it, they have known it. So the point was, those who think that they have known the spiritual reality as an object, they are missing the point. And those who say that we have not known it in the sense of knowing anything, an object as an object, they have a chance. They have a chance that probably they are telling the truth. Okay. So what is it pointing toward? That it is not a thing. It is not a thing. But for us to get hold of that thing which is beyond sound, touch, smell, and everything, is that it is the awareness. It is the awareness in which all these experiences happen. That is the subject, the awareness in which all these experiences happen. So anything that we can see comes and goes, right? Anything even we can feel, they also changes. Our feelings changes. Anything we can think appears and disappears. We see all the time thoughts appear and disappear. And thoughts are also sometimes fake thought, right? Unnecessarily unreal thought, which have no reality in real life. So Upanishad is pointing toward that which does not come and go. Sense objects come and go, thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, mood comes and go. But what is it that does not come and go? What is it that does not come and go? So for for all practical purpose, it is, we can get a sense of it. It is not totally abstract Upanishad is speaking about. If we look in our own life, we'll find that over so many years, our look has changed, our body has changed, our hair was, sometime there was no hair, a few hairs came, they were black or brown or uh, whatever color it is, and now they are turning gray. Our so many thoughts have passed in our mind, so many feelings came and went, so many moods came and went, and even our ego, that is who we are, that also have changed over the years, is not it? Who we are, that, at some time we felt like, oh, we are successful, who is like me, I am success. Again we found that no, I am not that successful, there is something more to be done. Sometime I felt I am so spiritual, sometime I felt no, not at all. Sometime I feel, oh, I am so blissful, sometime I felt no, not at all, I am far away. So our ego that gives us our identity, that also changed. But what did not change? A sense of I. If we look at it, a sense of I, right? Now, right now, the sense of I is diffused, but it was all along there, a sense of I exist, I exist. We could not pinpoint, right now also we cannot pinpoint what is that I, but there is a diffuse sense of I that remain unchanged. All those things came and went, experiences came and went, but there was something, when we look back as far as our memory goes, that there is something, a sense of I that has remained. So that is the constant for us to hold on to. For us, that is the key, that there is something in us which does not change, a sense of I. And Upanishad is telling now that that sense of I, that awareness is anādi, that is beginningless, and ananta is not confined to a space. Yeah. So anādi, it is, we may say, no, we don't find it ourselves beginningless. We feel like we have a beginning and an end, but Upanishad is telling that our experience about ourselves is flawed. That's why we don't feel that we are beginningless. That's why we don't feel that we are infinite. We are not confined to a space. That we are beginningless, that discovery is the spiritual journey. That is the quest, discovery of who. This is very interesting, that all of us have a sense of I, right? Nobody says I don't exist. Everybody says I exist. Everybody has an understanding of about something about ourselves. Upanishad is telling that understanding is not complete. That understanding is limited understanding. When we discover our real I, really who we are, that is, we discover at the same time that we are beginningless. And that is not restricted to a place. I was thinking about, what an example can be given about it. It dawned upon me that uh, imagine, probably you have heard also, or you have experienced also, if you have had a near death experience, almost you are about to lose your life, and then you survived. After that, what happens usually, the ordinary things of life that we thought about ordinary, appears to be, suffused with beauty. Everything gets so meaningful. Even the small pleasures of life become so meaningful. The thing is, or everything appears to be so beautiful. People whom we did not like earlier, even they appear to be, a beautiful creation, alive. I am alive, they are alive. What more we can think about? Now, the question is, this beauty, when did it come? It was always there, right? We are not just looking into it. This beauty in other people, beauty in the sense of the beauty as a person, or beauty of being alive, that when did it come? It was always there. I was not just noticing it. In the same way, this can give an idea of, this discovering our innermost self, and discovering at the same time that it was always there. This reality, our this spiritual reality, was always there. There was no a time when it was not there. I was just not aware of it. I was not just paying attention to it. Okay. In that sense, it is anādi. It has no beginning. And when it has no beginning, it has also no end. And that discovery is actually immortality. That discovery itself is the immortality. Discovering a core in us, when we feel or we get convinced that this core was never absent. It was always there. It was not started at some point. How about its infinity? We cannot prove it right now. It's anantaṃ. It is infinity. We have to take as Upanishad is telling us. But if we look at the experiences of people, of no matter which faith traditions or spiritual practices they are coming from, they all point out to this experience of, being vast, not confined to this limited body and mind. That can give us some idea about this anantattva, this infinite nature of our spiritual self. It is even it is even beyond intellect. That is mahataḥ paraṃ. You may think of that it is beyond intellect or beyond the cosmic order. Why? Because even the cosmic order is a, an object to awareness. The cosmic order, whether we can feel it or not, is still an object of awareness. So this awareness that is more fundamental to us, it is even beyond the cosmic order or mahataḥ. If we take mahataḥ literally meaning the cosmic mind, but mahataḥ can also be interpreted as, in contextually as our intelligence. It is even beyond our intellect. Intellect, the buddhi, the deterministic faculty that we have. And now a question can be asked, why should we care about about such a reality which is beyond smell, beyond taste, and beyond sound? Why should we care about? Then Upanishad says that nicāyya, having discovered that truth, mṛtyu-mukhāt pramucyate. One transcends death. Transcends death. So here one thing, having discovered that, and how does it happen? What does it mean having discovered that? So, there are many who hold the idea this discovery is just affirming our true nature, just affirm yourself that you are that, and that is your discovery. But that is, I don't buy that, and that is not also the majority of what non-dual spiritual aspirants speak about. There is really such a thing called aparaksha, a transcendental experience. Until we have that, we will be intellectualizing all the time. Affirm your, just say that you are a billionaire and you are becoming a billionaire. Until I see the really bank account, there is really $1 billion in my bank account. Never my doubts will go. Never my doubts will go. So there is a school in Vedanta which is called Vivarana school. They are after this, that you don't need any experience. Okay. But there are many nuances which are omitted. That first of all, Vivarana school, in the initially they speak about who are eligible for this school. Who are already perfected, very perfected in all the initial practices. And they say that if they hear the truth from a realized teacher well, perfectly, and follow it, they don't need any meditation, any experience. But those kind of seekers are extremely rare, where teacher will tell the truth and they will immediately realize the truth. For us, we have to think, having discovered that truth is what just two verses before the Upanishad said, the four-step practices. You remember four-step practices that we went through, that dissolve everything into the mind, mind into intellect, intellect into mahat, mahat into shantu atma. We have to go through this process. And Upanishad immediately said this process is not an easy one. It's a razor sharp, razor sharp process. And but we have to try for it. We have to try for it. If we do that, then there is a great promise. That is, we transcend death. So what does it mean? Does it mean that we, as we are, will live forever? like like the body mind. In fact, you will be surprised that this is a big thing now in Silicon Valley. World's most secretive lab is in Redwood City. Redwood City is called Altos Lab. Altos Lab. And top biologists, biochemists are working there, and they don't know, then tell others what they are doing. But recently, they gave access to one New York Times journalist, and she went inside. So what they are trying to do is trying to reverse the process of aging. Reverse the process of aging. They are trying to rejuvenating our cells, biological cells, so that each cell can be turned back to in a much younger, age. So, but it is a long shot. Even the optimist, even among them, they say it might it might prolong our life at the most by 5 to 10 years. Okay, so this quest for immortality is also extended only by 5 years. So Upanishad is not talking about that kind of immortality for sure. So what they are talking about is this changing body mind, this perishable body and my identifying with that is the death. And identifying with that reality that does not change is being immortal. That is being immortal. That once we discover that there is something in us which does not change with time, with place, with situation, with experience, that is discovering the immortality in us. And when we discover that, what happens? That the fear of death, which we may not uh, realize right now, whether we have fear of death or not, but many many philosophers and scientists say that fear of death is uppermost in our mind. It is playing at the background. We Many of our actions, activities, and reactions also all spring from this, the fear of death. Fear of death. So that is the promise, that once we discover this unchanging reality in us, we no longer fear about the perishable nature, the perishable body and mind. Another way of saying that going beyond death might also maybe interpreted this way, that not recognizing our spiritual nature is itself a death. That is, Shankaracharya says, not knowing our spiritual nature is like a death. It's a spiritual death. If you remember Isha Upanishad, Asurya namate lokan andheno tamasabhitaha. Those who totally neglect their spiritual reality, they are almost like living in a hell, or a dark place, that itself is a death. So, discovering our spiritual reality is life, and not discovering, remaining unaware of it, not even trying for it, is like death. Okay. So, this is how we can interpret it. So, we get freedom from both of these, that a spiritual death as well as the death identifying with our ever changing body and mind. So, what the practice it looks like? So, Upanishad is not trying to asking us to imagine something abstract. It is asking us to notice which is already present. Notice what is already present. We see objects, but we are not objects. We feel emotions, but we are not emotions. We think thoughts, but we are not thoughts. So, noticing what does not change, even all of these things are changing. Noticing that. So, notice a thought, it comes and goes. Notice a feeling, it comes and goes. But what is that which does not change? That is aśabdam, asparśam, arūpam, agandhavat, which cannot be smelled, which cannot be heard, which cannot be seen, and beyond all of these, and discovering that which does not change amidst all of these is real immortality. And that was the central question of Nachiketa, right? Nachiketa asked, "Is there anything that survives after we die?" So Yama took a long time to come to this point. Why? Why? This is something interesting we don't think about. So if Yama would have said that there is something that exists even without death, we immediately will think that there is a thing called Atma. There is a thing called Atma. I have to know that thing, and that will survive even after I die. It is not like that after my body and mind die, there will be such a reality called Atma which will continue. It is a dimension, a spiritual dimension in us, recognizing that spiritual dimension, that will make us immortal. Okay. We have the idea that we are body mind and there is such a thing called spirit, and we will discover the spirit, and then the spirit will continue even after we die, and that's how you're immortal. No, no, not that. Discovering the subject is what immortality is. It is not knowing any other thing, not reaching anywhere. Discovering the subject, pure subject, is immortality. That is immortality, and that is what Upanishad is pointing to. Pointing to. Okay, pointing to. I hope you have questions. Surely, immortality, when the subject is immortality, questions are bound to be.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I learned something. I was misunderstanding it. So it's almost like if we live in a, say, three-dimensional world, like up, down, depth. So it almost in my head as like a way I can explain to myself is imagining like a fourth dimension, which is
Mm,
connected, which is actually central to our existence here and now, today, this moment. And I'm thinking I'm in three dimension. There's the computer, there's left, right, up, and down. But there is actually a fourth dimension, which is also me. And I don't understand. I don't realize that
mm.
that's also me. Is that what you were trying to just say now?
No, no, that spiritual dimension is not anything like physical dimension we are talking about.
No, that was just my quirky way of explaining it because again,
Yeah,
it's so beyond words, but
yeah,
not literally fourth dimension,
yes,
but it
yes.
is something there, has always been
Something
there.
always there, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean,
nothing
yeah,
will change.
yeah.
Nothing will change after we discover it. Nothing will
So
change.
so
It is,
how does this interact? This, for want of a better word, may I use the word dimension? I know it's not true,
yeah.
but how does it actually interact with the what we now know as object? How does the subject object come in contact?
Yeah, through the mysterious thing called mind.
That,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And if you look at Upanishad speaks about this mind, Chit Jada Granthi. It's the interface between Chit and Jada. Because mind has a wonderful or mysterious quality, even though it is matter, very subtle matter, but Sankhya tells it very well. Because of its proximity with Atma, it can interact with spirit as well as with matter. Okay.
Mm,
Otherwise, spirit and matter, how they interact at all? How would, in fact, that is the point where Samkhya failed and non-duality started. Philosophically, philosophically, Sankhya philosophy is a wonderful philosophy. That there are two realities: one is the spirit, another is the matter. Okay, and spirit in everybody has a different soul. There is no such thing called pervasive, all pervasive spirit. Okay, this all pervasive spirit is there, but the spirit that we have are all individualized spirit. Okay, that is Sankhya's position. And non-dual Vedanta asks the question how spirit and matter, being totally opposite, interact with each other. If two things are so diametrically opposite, how come they are interact? How does Purusha and Prakriti interact?
mm,
This was the point. Non-dual Vedanta. And non-dual Vedanta resolved it in this way that what we are seeing as Purusha and Prakriti, ultimately there is no such distinction. Essentially, everything is the spirit. The spirit is appearing as matter and all of it, but ultimately, essentially, there is only one reality. That is the only point where Shankha could not stand non-dual Vedanta. So, coming to your question, how this spiritual dimension in us, the subject, interacts with the object is through inner organ, antakarana, or mind. Mind. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, mind is, that's why called chit jara granthi. It is of the nature of consciousness as well as um, matter, chit as well as jada. That's why that is why there is a possibility that this mind, if is purified enough, can take us there. Can take us there, yeah.
So in a
Because otherwise, where the experience happen, experience or knowledge, whatever you say, where will it happen? In mind. In mind, right? In mind it will happen. But at the same time, mind is finite. The thing is infinite. How the finite thing can know even an infinite thing? Okay. So these are very nuances and polemical and academic matter. Yeah. So they say, non-dual Vedantist will say that actually mind does not know anything. What happens is when mind is purified enough, the ignorance falls off. Ignorance falls off, and what it is reveals itself. It just remains. Mind does not have to realize Brahman or Atman. Atman just reveals. All that remained was ignorance about it. The ignorance went away. How the ignorance went away? Through a vritti called Brahmakara vritti. I am that, I am that. This vritti, this thought, swallowed all other thoughts. This I'm just going beyond the text now, since you have raised the question. So non-dual Vedantis say that after practicing many years, I am that, Shravana and Manana and Nididhyasana, there finally comes a time that when mind becomes so pure that one thought only remains, and that thought is, I am that. I am vast. This thought consumes all other thoughts. And along with that, it takes away all the ignorance about our finite nature. And as soon as that, all those finite thoughts are gone, reality as it was, it just is. It just is there. It reveals. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Yes,
It's a very
yes.
good explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Paul, Linda. Oh, Linda,
Hello, hello.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so at the beginning of talking about this verse, you talked about the formulas that the Upanishads use stylistically to point to something that
Right,
actually cannot be objectified or described.
right.
Well, so, like how do you express that in words?
Yeah,
And you said that one of the formulas that the Upanishads uses over and over again is to do the via negativa and then the via positiva.
yeah, yeah.
It's not this, and not that, not this, not that, but then it flips it and says it is this, it is that.
Yeah.
And in this verse, the negative comes first. Yeah.
First, yeah, yeah.
Is it always so in the other Upanishads? I have not noticed. Do they always do the negative first before the positive?
Mostly, yes. My
Okay.
experience is so. If you
Okay. So
remember among the,
I have an observation about that.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, go
No,
ahead.
just okay. Um, as soon as someone, a teacher or anybody wants to tell you about something that you have never heard of before,
Yeah.
our minds, the very first thing they do is they begin to relate it to what we already know.
No, yeah.
That is our natural instinct,
Yes.
our natural thought
Right,
process.
right.
So by taking the negative route first, the
Yeah,
Upanishads are trying to cancel that tendency within us
right.
to automatically try to associate what we're
Yes,
talking about with something we already know. It's like
yes,
the Upanishads are immediately saying, nope, nope, it's not that. It's,
yes.
don't allow any false
Yeah,
association to take
right,
root.
right, right.
Anyway, that's my observation.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Is a Nyaya logic, Nyaya, the system which is totally based on logic. So they are known for their definition, how to define a thing. So they say first to define a thing, you have to tell what it is not. What it is not, you have to say, then you have to say what it is. That is the best way of defining something. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Rick?
Yes. The young lady mentioned the fourth. There is in this knowledge a fourth. They
Yeah,
call it Turiya.
yes.
So her observation is, according to these thinkings, is true. There is a fourth, and
Hmm.
it is not in the relative manifest. It
Hmm.
is in the unmanifest. Now, what I hear when you talk about the mind is that it sounds like you assume that the mind is not coming from the unmanifest. Like we're proceeding to the unmanifest through the vehicle of the mind, and then we get there. But I think, well, this is a thought I had, that we proceed to the mind from the unmanifest once we find Turiya. Then
Hmm.
we know, like you were saying the truth, the truth. When you were saying the truth, I kept feeling like you were talking about an attribute, as the foundational element in everything. It's more than an attribute. Everything becomes an attribute to it. So, and even the mind becomes an attribute to the Turiya element in the existence. So all of this, and I think, proceeds from Turiya. Now, my question is, what philosophy tells us about Turiya?
Non-dual Vedanta.
We didn't mention it to the girl.
Yes. No, I did not. I did not mean Turiya in a dimension way. It's a state of awareness. Yeah. Yes.
So now, but it has no attributes.
Yes.
And yet all attributes flow from it. Right?
Right.
Now, one thing that occurred to me, we talk about having experiences and stuff. If you have a glimpse of it, and you think you've had a glimpse of it, it seems to me that you verify it in the relative.
Yes.
You verify that experience in the relative. It's a part, you find it in your own awareness.
Hmm.
Not the awareness that we are neti, neti, yeti, yeti, not that awareness, but the awareness of Turiya. And that is no thing. I heard these words once. I thought they were good. Absolute abstraction.
Hmm.
Absolute abstraction. The
Right.
way I understand that is with love. I've heard it said God is love, right?
Yeah.
But how do you know love? It's a concept until you love something,
Right.
right? So the expression of Turiya is found in the awareness of the relative. You say neti neti because we want to give the object the credit, but it doesn't get the credit. We say yeti yeti because I don't even understand yeti yeti, but so not this, yes this, yes this. You have to experience it in the relative, and then you understand the absolute, because it is the foundational experience in the relative. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. Does it make sense to you?
I see it.
Great. That matters most, If it makes sense to you, that
No, it
matters
makes
most.
sense to get verification, especially from the teacher. It's
Well, I don't think I am your teacher. I think other way around.
no, well, you're wrong.
I think you are like an oracle, So I don't think you are learning. You are just, your revelation you are just sharing with us. So I don't need to, validate it at all.
I
I
need the validation. But it's just like what you just said is very interesting. One of the young ladies in the group one day talked about who likes to talk of Buddha. And she said something, and she said that on the other end of the absolute is the ego. It blew up in my head. It
yeah,
blew up in my head, and I understood that absolute nature of no thing
yeah,
had the ability to become everything.
right.
And now I didn't think it. It
Yes,
it occurred to me. Her words made it occur to me.
right,
And
right.
that's the way we really learn. That's what this class is all about,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's all about, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Victoria, you want to say something?
I just wanted you to, if you could please talk
Yeah.
more about cosmic mind,
Hmm.
descriptors or just, I know it's really subtle and we're getting into the gray area.
Yeah, yes. So the thing is, Upanishads are, always speak about reality in two channels, or you may say in two dimensions. If the dimension means here, one is the micro level, vyashti, individual,
Mhm.
and samashti, the the cosmic.
Mhm.
So as we have body, physical body, a mind, an intellect, and atma, so also this cosmic level, the all the visible universe is the is body. It has a mind, mahat, the cosmic mind, from where the creation plan of creation starts.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And we can think of this cosmic mind as, Carl Jung's, collective unconscious. As Carl Jung said, there is a collective unconscious from which we are part of all of that collective
Mhm.
unconscious. Or
Mhm.
Upanishads sometimes speak about, there is an intelligence in this universe which, gives an order to this order, this universe. That we may think of that universal intelligence that is behind all the laws, all the cycles that is going on, and there is as if there is a mind, cosmic mind,
Mhm.
and that is called mahat. Okay, that is called mahat. But the word mahat is sometimes used as individual intelligence also, individual intelligence also. So here it could mean both, that the spiritual reality is beyond in the sense that it is more subtle, or even transcends our intellect, or it may mean even it is the essence of the cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is also an object compared to this spiritual reality.
It's less differentiated than
Yes,
anything on the material level.
yes, yes.
So the
Cosmic
less
mind is also a material, although
it, yeah,
subtle matter. So it is also in a sense an object.
yes, yeah. So eventually the more subtle it becomes, the more it starts to, there's this mysterious point where
Yeah,
it starts to merge
yeah.
into what the
Immaterial.
direct experience would be.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
okay, great, thank you.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, Karen.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, namaskar. So my question is is Turiya another word for consciousness or not?
Turiya is not another word for consciousness. Turiya is a state of consciousness. Okay. And here we have to be careful, because immediately we will bring Mandukya Upanishad. Okay. Mandukya Upanishad said that Turiya is not a special state of awareness, but awareness itself is Turiya. Okay, it is not a special state. This awareness is present in every state, whether we are awake, where we are sleeping, where we are in the deep sleep. Turiya is not a state, but Turiya is underlying all of these states. Okay, now this is Mandukya's view, but Turiya in many other places, in other Yoga Vasishtha and many other Advaita literature, Turiya also means that transcendental state of awareness. Okay, or you may equate with samadhi, a special state of existence. Okay, so in contextually it will depend. Turiya,
Okay.
Turiya, it can be referred to most of the time. Turiya means a transcendental state. Okay, but the point is that transcendental state is the state. It's not a state. It is the awareness per se. That
Of
awareness,
consciousness. It's the awareness of consciousness or the
awareness as it is. Awareness, pure awareness. It is called pure awareness because at that time awareness is not mixed up with anything. It is not expressing itself through body or mind or any other mode of existence. Okay,
so that would be samadhi.
that is the samadhi, as we in our parlance it will be samadhi, right? Absolutely.
Okay. And is it equitable to consciousness in any?
Yes, it's the purest state of consciousness.
Okay. Okay.
When it is purest, we can no longer call it the state. It becomes the thing.
Consciousness. It becomes a
Yeah,
thing. Okay.
consciousness as it is. Okay.
Okay. And then I have another question too. So, because I know that Vedantins, they love, labeling things. So I was just wondering so a mind, it evolves and we have like the normal mind, quote unquote. And then you have like a jiva mind, right? Like an enlightened mind. And then you would have the, like a mind beyond that. So what would you call, what's like the Sanskrit word for like a normal mind? Like,
Normal mind and abnormal mind?
like a normal mind and a jiva mind, like different, expressing different states of mind.
Okay, right. There are many ways of naming them. One is sattvic mind, you may say. Mind which is pure of sattva, that is very pure.
Okay, that would be sattvic mind. Okay.
Sattvic mind. Okay. And which is impure is a tamasic, rajasic
mind. Oh, okay.
Okay, another way of putting will be shuddha, and ashuddha.
What does shuddha mean?
Shuddha means pure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then is there, if somebody is in a jivan state, do they have like a jivan mind or would they have a sattvic mind?
Which state? Oh, jivan mukta.
If a jivan, yeah. If somebody has a
jivan mukta, yeah, sure. Their mind is very transparent, pure mind.
So that would be like a sattvic mind or a jivan mind?
Yes. Sattvic mind, yeah.
Sattvic mind? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
The thing is, to be more precise, a jivan mukta will have a mind just like us. It is purified and it will have also rajas and tamas. Only thing is they will not be bound by their mind. All the thoughts and motivations, all the impulses also will arise in their mind. They will not act on those impulses and mind.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
And Bhagavad Gita says such a person is trigunatita, beyond trigunatita, beyond sattva, rajas and tamas. Okay.
What's the term? Beyond
trigunatita. Trigunatita. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 17th chapter, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Purni, please.
Done.
I just had a comment when you made me think about, you said, why did Yama not explain all this to Nachiketa in the beginning? And he just brings this concept of immortality now. And that made me think about how when we are learning Upanishadic studies, when you're doing the studies, the same thing is like told to us. But if you tell a person this, it's not going to register. You have to keep listening to it, and then it's like the concept of realization will dawn upon you, even though it's the same sentence or the same statement that's been made, but you don't quite get it.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
that the
have seen,
parallel just kind of like,
I have seen many people who have studied Vedanta for many years. They think Atma is the thing which leaves the body after we die. One who has devoted whole life in studies, they also say that what is Atma? Atma, Upanishad is Atma, that thing that leaves our body after we die and finds another body, and that is Atma. Okay, but again they are thinking Atma in terms of a thing
right.
that moves, that goes about, as if we cannot think about. Surely it is our limitations that we cannot think about something which is not a thing. Okay, so that's why, yeah, Betty, I think you want to ask the same thing, that if Atma is not a thing, right, Betty? Is it your question? If self is beginningless, why does it not continue after death?
Betty, can you hear him?
It does. It does continue after death. It is the field of death.
Yeah, if the self is beginningless, why does it not continue after death? Why is that not immortality? Yeah. The thing is, self is self. It is present all the time. Okay. And it is for us to discover it. And actually, this is a question of Sankhas against non-dual Vedanta. That if self is all-pervading, then if someone gets liberation, everybody should also get. If there is only one self, why does it not happen that one becomes liberated, whereas the same self in others, which is connected to all of it, they don't get liberated? Yeah, Mrs.
the
Carmen.
connection is weak.
There's only one self, and it's already liberated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are subtle arguments about it, and so yeah. Yeah.
The wheel of samsara, where all our attachments keep us being reborn in our delusion until we give up all of the hindrances.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we say that we aren't separate, but our attachments make us think there's separation, and we keep perpetuating that wheel of delusion and being born again and separate from each other. So in a way, everybody already is liberated. We just don't know it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Swami, I wanted to bring up Buddhism again. The nirvana sometimes is translated as extinguishment.
Yeah.
And that's so fascinating, where everything disappears, everything is extinguished. And then Buddhists think that Vedantists are confused because they think that we think the Atman is a separate entity, which you tonight did a great job of pointing out that it's not. So the idea of extinguishment is, for my personal, as a Vedantist studying with Buddhists, we extinguished all of our ignorance and attachments to our bodies, to our personal ego, to who we are as an individual, separate. So we're really not separate from each other. But the other part of that is we have a causal and subtle body that has to keep going through that wheel. So the body drops off. And to me, it's not a matter of, oh, we're enlightened and extinguished. There is the karmic connection to that causal body. And there's that craving to be born in a body again. And it drives us.
Yes.
And so that's why we're really blessed when we have spiritual teachers to help us move away from that ignorance. So thank you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Purni, your hand is raised or just falsely? Okay. Yes, the thing is, what I pointed out, I mean, this is what I personally feel. Whatever scholars and scriptures say, I think we have to take it in a totally subjective level. Okay. This Atma or the all-pervasive thing, forget about all of it. Forget about all of it. And what is its nature, whether it continues or not, whether it is infinite or not, whether it is immortal or not. Just don't bother so much about it. What it matters is my life. My life, I understand I am bound. And I also understand that in some meditative states, I get a glimpse of something which is beyond me. And that energizes me, that gives me peace of mind, that gives me a sense of continuity and joy and bliss. And let's aspire for that, that state. Whether it is a state, whether it is a dimension, is all figurative. Whether it is present in everywhere, whether things came from it or not, what does it matter? Tomorrow a theory might come, they may prove all of this is wrong. Consciousness does not produce matter. And then where will you go? But you cannot deny your own experience that sometimes in a better state of mind, we really transcend our thoughts, our minds, and our feelings. And for those moments, we feel that we are, really beyond time and beyond place, all of it. So, otherwise, what will happen is these kind of um, confusions and arguments can continue all the time. What is the manifest? What is the unmanifest? What came from what? What is beyond mind and the nature of the mind? Can mind really experience it? Or what are the states of mind? All of it are really, really non-essential. Okay, non-essential. But we have to study in some way. But I can tell you that nobody can clear your all doubts unless you experience. No matter thousands of things we speak and argue and listen to and read, none will solve our doubts. None will solve our doubts unless we experience the thing. Okay. And unless we experience that, we can keep on talking about it, keep on talking. You can argue with me whether it is immortal or not. I can refute, no, it is immortal, it survives the body or not. But what I really wanted to point out is this: discovering this spiritual dimension is in us is the immortality. Okay, whether that self itself is immortal or not is a secondary question. But discovering something in us which does not change, or let me be more precise, reaching to a state through meditation or whatever, when we feel that we are beyond time, is immortality. Is immortality. Okay. And it is rather, let us think in that way, that it is something, a spiritual experience we have to aspire for. And when we experience this, we can use different even words. And even I can come up with, you can come up with different description of the experience, but it hardly matters, hardly matters. Yeah. All right. So I thought today I will conclude the section. Yeah, this brings us back to the feedback between worldview and lifestyle. Yeah, the worldview, there is no fixed ultimate worldview. The thing is, I can tell you, worldview does not win. Who wins? The orator wins. The orator who can present it in a very confident way and very convincing way, he wins. If someone comes here and who is a scholar and great orator on Samkhya, he can nullify what I have told so far, and it will appear he is right. So Samkhya will not win, nor non-dual Vedanta will win. It is the orator who wins. Okay,
Mm,
so
mm,
we don't have to think that let us get our worldview right, let us have our definitions right, let us have our all conceptions right, and then only our spiritual life will be total. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Whatever we have understood, whatever we have a kind of have conviction about, and let's aspire for that. That is the main thing. That is the main thing. Yeah. Yes. But I don't mean by that don't ask me questions or counteract me. But again, we should always
the
go back
focus.
to the that fundamental thing. These things are important, concepts and discussing, clearing our concepts, definitely, because until we aspire for the goal, lifestyle alone won't help us. Okay, but at the same time, we should not be lost into the discussion of the worldview. Okay, yeah. Preeti ji, you want to say something?
Pranams Maharaj.
Yeah, yeah.
I hesitate to ask this question.
No, don't
It's kind of
hesitate.
also a maybe strange question.
No.
But with this this discussion about immortality versus mortality, I I'm just talking from a very basic first person experience approach, and so I'm just wondering. So when we're born and we're little children, we may not have that awareness of what we are or what and we're told things from the outside as we grow, and that becomes kind of our personality. We
Right.
learn to identify, oh, okay, I'm a
Yeah,
girl, I'm not,
right.
I'm a boy.
Yes, yes, yes.
Baby does not know what it is. And
Right, right.
so I'm wondering if there's, like, if I try to myself think right now, do I have a feeling that there was a point where I did not exist, and now, and then I came into existence? I cannot think of that in any
Right,
way.
right.
So a child also, and so is there something where we have that sense that we have always been, and at some level we have that, and we are, then when we come into this world, we are given this personality, and we develop it and we nurture it ourselves as we grow. And then we see that this personality, which is so related to the body and the mind, suddenly one day disappears, when people actually have physical death. And that is what puts that fear into us.
Right.
And this question of mortality and immortality really comes into focus for us. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that you are right, that our fear is this, that our sense of existence is so tied with our body and mind that losing it is like losing ourselves, right? That is the point we are making. But what Vedanta and all spiritual element people are talking, that there is a non-conditioned self. All we understand about ourselves is conditioned. Conditioned in the sense our experiences, our parents, our society, all of these gave us the sense of who I are. And it is so conditioned. So it all depended upon where you grew up, which family you grew up. That makes you different from me. But beyond all of this, can we just be without any conditioning? Think about a water flowing by, and some things have mixed into it, and it is now appearing bluish or greenish. But can there be a pure water without any color in it? That is what, whether it is Buddhism or whether it is non-dual Vedanta, whether Patanjali Yoga, Purusha, they are all referring to this, unconditioned self, unconditioned, which is, I told it earlier also, that whenever we think about ourselves, some thoughts, some image, and some words come to our mind. If we close our eyes and try to think about ourselves, it will be always some image about ourselves, some thoughts about ourselves, some words and sounds about ourselves. But is it all? All of this sound, image, and thoughts were conditioned, conditioned. But apart from these conditions, can we exist as just be without being anything? Without being anything, just be, that is what they are referring to. They are referring to. Okay. Yeah. And that is, I think, the pure being, the Turiyo, you may call it pure being, Purusha, or nothing, or Shunya, all can be applied to it, because it is beyond any conditioning, and therefore beyond any description. Yeah. Yes, Jinaji, go
I have
ahead.
a really quick question for you. So, in your opinion, do you think a newborn baby, when we were newborn, day
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
were we conditioned beings or were we unconditioned? Because we still cried for and we still
Yes, yes,
depended on breathing and all that. So,
yes, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, otherwise every child will be illumined, right? If
yeah.
they have not conditioning has started. But if you look at every child is also trying to be something, you know, they look forward to others what they want me to. So what happens is, for a baby has no sense of self, who I am. Baby derives his sense of self by seeing others, how their parents are reacting to the baby or behaving with the baby. From that, the baby derives its sense of self.
I think even beyond that, the minute they're born, the first thing they're looking for is gasping for air.
Yeah,
So that is an interaction. So I mean, would that be conditioned or unconditioned in your opinion?
it
It's
hardly matters.
it's genetically conditioned.
Conditioned,
Genetically,
yeah. Okay,
genetically conditioned. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
yeah, I
Genetically
think so
conditioned.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we cannot go back to that state for sure. We cannot reverse to the moment of birth. So, what we can do is, even being in the relative world, can we experience that non conditioned? And then, not to remain in the unconditioned one, be in the conditioned world, but informed by that unconditioned self. And that will dramatically change our interaction with the conditioned world. Okay, yeah, that is what I would say. That the goal is not to remain in the unconditioned, but unconditioned, being informed by the unconditioned self, remain in the conditioned self, and that is the beauty of the being in the world, joy of being in the world. Yeah. Okay, I conclude here today. Okay, so one announcement I want to. I am sorry again. Next Friday I won't be here. Don't ask me where I am going. I am going to Las Vegas. We have a center in Las Vegas, and it is very near the strip, Las Vegas Strip. I just looked up today. They have a regular center there, and I will be giving 3 talks: Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll come back on Monday. Okay. So next Friday we won't have the class, but following Friday, and then we will be having continuous classes. Okay. On that day, we shall conclude the next 2 verses that is left of this chapter. Those 2 are also wonderful verses. Okay. With this, let's conclude. Okay. And okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Peace be unto all. Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swami. That was a